Welcome back. I'm your host, Katie Baldwin, and today we're exploring the intricate dance of payments, innovation, and industry collaboration. Our guest is no stranger to this rhythm. She's the head of partner relationships at Payments New Zealand, a true connector, a force in steering the ship toward a progressive payments future. At Payments New Zealand, our guest, Angela Gill, works to cultivate partnerships, foster innovation, and ensure the seamless flow of transactions that underpin our daily lives. Angela, thank you for joining us today. Let's dive in.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Katie.
Can you share with us your previous experience in collaboration with other players in the payments industry?
Well, actually, I started my career as a chartered accountant, but soon realised that I like to talk and mix with people. So this was not likely to be my long-term gig. So after an OE in London, where I worked as program manager in a number of areas, I returned to New Zealand and got a 7-month contract at what was then Electronic Transaction Services Limited, then Paymark, and now Worldline. So at the time I was told got into payments, I'd never leave. And that turned out to be true, as my 7-month contract eventually turned out permanent, and I stayed for 16 years. So I started as EMV program manager. And what's EMV? It was chip cards, basically, introducing the cards that had chips on them. I'd never had any experience in it. And the nickname for the project was Chip and Dip. So as Kiwis know, that's a good old favourite. So I moved then into the customer team and worked with banks, industry associations such as Retail New Zealand, Hospitality Association, retailers such as Foodstuffs, Z Energy, terminal vendors, of which Skyzer, of course, was one, and resellers. I managed the everyday relationships with our company. I ran industry forums. We joined partner roadshows and interacted at every level from C-suite to the operational areas. Payments New Zealand was one of our alliance relationships. And the opportunity arose to join the API Centre team to work on an amazing partnering in the open banking space. I've now moved into a broader role as head of partner relationships and once again enjoying working across the industry.
That's fabulous. I mean, I always knew that you were an industry veteran, but to get that background is great. So can you walk us through your current role and what attracted you to Payments New Zealand?
Yeah, so as head of partner relationships, I'm responsible for industry engagement, so cultivating and maintaining relationships amongst business partners and members, and working with the wider team to grow our wider membership and engagement base. The membership program, I have to ensure that the membership program delivers value to the members and to Payments New Zealand through outreach activities, leveraging thought leadership and engagement on company work programs across our teams. We have clearing systems. We have the payments directions team, strategy, and the API Centre. We ensure that members have a voice into all our strategic initiatives across the company and make sure they're included in workshops where they can share their thoughts directly. And I was attracted to Payments New Zealand initially because of the engagement I had with its team members in my previous role. The great culture kind of seemed evident to me in my interactions, and I wasn't disappointed when I joined. The company vision, world-class payments for Aotearoa, New Zealand, is a great aspiration, and the company values also resonated with me. They are lead for tomorrow, people at the heart of what we do, and excellence in our work. And I'm still all about the people. It's what makes me tick, and working across the market at all levels within our member organisations gives me a real opportunity to ensure there's those synergies between their organisations and Payments New Zealand are realised.
It feels like you're in this position just within Payments New Zealand to have such
finger on the pulse. Yeah, I kind of it's nice to get out and really understand what makes the members tick and what's important to them, and make sure that I feed that back into our organisation, and where we can, that we can actually translate their needs into something tangible that feeds into our systems and then obviously into the economy, and it just all goes from there. So it's a real privilege to actually share in everybody's work and business lives, and I get to know them personally as well, which is always really nice, because I find that once you know people personally, it's really makes the business much more simple.
Yeah. Streamlined, exactly. So tell us more about Payments New Zealand and its role in the payments ecosystem.
Yeah, well, we're a governance organisation, and at the heart of all of New Zealand's payment systems, we work with the industry. So we don't do it all ourselves. We bring industry in, and we want to empower Aotearoa, New Zealand's payments future. We were formed in 2010 by the Reserve Bank, and we govern the core payment systems and work with industry to lead open banking and the future direction of payments. We don't own or operate any infrastructure. A lot of people get that confused and think that we actually run systems. We manage clearing systems that govern how payments are exchanged and settled between the financial institutions in New Zealand, and we make sure that's done efficiently and securely. Those clearing systems are governed by rules and standards and procedures that we develop and manage the financial institutions who are participants of the system. And when we say participants, those are the likes of the banks, so the large banks, the Westpacs and the ANZs and ASBs and BNZ and a few others. The rules and standards set out the requirements for participation in the system and how payments are processed. And they also provide standardization for the way transactions are made between participants and their customers.
So tell us more about the systems you govern.
The systems that we manage actually transact over $6 trillion annually. So that's pretty significant.
Crazy.
Yeah, it really is when you look at it like that. So there's three main clearing systems, and they're defined by payment types. They cover a range of different payments methods used in New Zealand. So we have the high value clearing system, known as HVCS, and that governs large payments that can't be reversed, such as house settlements. The bulk electronic clearing system, which we call BECS, and that governs how direct debits, automatic payments, bill payments, and direct credits work. And the consumer electronic clearing system, KEX, and that governs how consumer payments such as EFTPOS, debit card, payments, and mobile payments work. So we're made up of an internal team, but we have, as I say, participants, members, and a board of directors and shareholders. As I said before, the participants are financial institutions that have joined one or more of those three systems I just mentioned, so they can exchange payments directly with other participants efficiently and securely. I've mentioned a number of the main banks, but we also have Bank of China, Citibank, HSBC, Kiwibank, TSB, lots of all the organisations. And then we have our members, and they're organisations from within the payments ecosystem that have joined our membership program to be actively involved in the ongoing development and strategic direction of the payments system. We've currently got 41 members, and of course Skyzer is one of those, and we're grateful to have you on board. So there's two levels. We have infrastructure, and that's designed for organisations that provide the infrastructure service related to the operation of the systems, and they want to take an active role in the management of those systems. So members in those categories are like the switches. So you've got Worldline, Woolworths, EFTPOS New Zealand, all the major switches in New Zealand, and then industry members, of which Skyzer is one, is designed for organisations with a business interest in payments industry initiatives and want to play an active part in industry-focused strategic conversations. And current members include card schemes, terminal vendors, smaller banks, industry associations, fintechs, retailers, you name it, anyone that's got that interest or even an adjacent interest to payments. So we welcome people to come and have a seat at the table and share their views with us.
It's almost amazing. It only started 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Because it seems, this seems almost necessary.
Yes, absolutely. So I think prior to that, there was the New Zealand Bankers Association, and we were kind of born out of that,
right?
And with the help of the Reserve Bank. So we then became Payments New Zealand, which was the governance organisation to, manage all of these systems, which is no small
Gather
feat.
everyone together.
Yeah, that's right. We do. That's pretty much our role, really. We bring industry together and herd the cats, if you like, and bring everyone to the table and try and make sure everyone's got that voice into and have their view, because it takes all sorts, right?
But how does Payments New Zealand work intersect with everyday experiences of small business owners?
So I guess we play a foundational role in supporting economic activity and businesses by ensuring the reliability, efficiency, security and inclusivity of those payment systems. And that all happens seamlessly in the background. Through our oversight and promotion of innovations, we then help to foster trust and confidence in those systems, facilitating transactions and enabling the businesses to thrive. So it happens indirectly, I guess, through our members and participants. So while we don't have direct interaction with all businesses, just that fact that we keep those systems running in the background means that we have a platform for those businesses to progress, and they do that through their direct interaction, as I say, with our participants and members.
Totally.
So, yeah. Because we do compliance, we set and enforce standards. So it means that they those standards protect consumers and ensure fair and transparent practices within the payments ecosystem. We make sure they're enforced. We do advocacy and representation. So we often act as a voice for our members and participants in discussions with regulatory authorities, other policymakers and stakeholders. And by advocating for that balance of interests of all parties involved, including small business and consumers, our organisation indirectly contributes to a more favourable operating environment for them. Definitely making sure that everything else ticks along so that those businesses can operate and be confident in the systems that underpin their payments infrastructure.
I think that's just a great overview. I mean, it gives such a voice to what you do and what Payments New Zealand accomplishes in the day-to-day. I'd love to transition a little bit. It's apparent you've had such a diverse and widespread overview of the payments industry. So I am curious to know, what is or are one of the most exciting things that you've noticed about today's current landscape?
Oh, that's a big question. Firstly, I guess I should note that payments landscape subject to rapid changes, and that in itself keeps it exciting and keeps us all in the game, really. That's why none of us leave 16 years later, 18 years later. But over the last couple of years, I guess one of the exciting trends has been the rapid development and adoption of digital payment solutions, including mobile platforms, contactless, peer-to-peer payments, digital wallets. And it's a rapid evolution of those technologies, and it's making financial transactions more accessible, faster and more interconnected, which is what's driving changes in how we manage and exchange money. Another area which is exciting is that together with industry, from banks to startups, we're creating the open banking standards and protocols needed to ensure fast, secure, user-friendly data for Aotearoa. That's known as open banking. What we're co-designing will power increased innovation, foster competition, and enable businesses to create new products and services that will empower Kiwis' financial well-being. Open banking has been a hot topic in the industry in recent years. And over this time, open banking, the term, has evolved to describe a series of initiatives which consumers will have then greater access to and control over their banking data, and also uses application programming interfaces, APIs. I'm not technical, but I know that that's what that means.
Yeah.
To let banks securely share their data with third parties who can provide more financial services to consumers. So it's a really exciting area and something that we're really happy to be leading in New Zealand. Yeah, so it's already here, I guess, to say, open banking in the New Zealand market, and already being used to deliver services by banks and third parties. But what's exciting is that this year we're going to see more major banks using our key standards around payment initiation and account information, and that'll lay the groundwork for new services and offerings for businesses to engage with their customers. So that's what's going to be exciting, is that progression that we see when everyone comes on board.
As you said, you got to herd the cats. So,
yeah.
Moving it forward is an integral part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you share a bit about the journey of Payments New Zealand in fostering innovation within New Zealand's payment landscape?
Yeah, so I guess, as I said, we were set up in 2010 to govern New Zealand's core payment systems, and along with that to work with and lead innovation in the payments industry and provide a base to innovate from, I guess. A big milestone in that work was the open banking trial, which started in 2018, and that resulted in the creation of our API Centre in 2019. So the open banking standards we develop are designed to let banks and third parties like fintechs innovate and work together securely. And we're already seeing the fruits of that work in services that consumers can access, as I said before, with more on the way as we pass open banking milestones this year. We also do long-term strategic thinking to support innovation across the whole industry. So we have a team called the Payments Direction Team that includes things like planning for future upgrades to the core payment systems, to digitize it, make it faster, and make it future-proof for innovation. So we're innovating all the time, but we also have to think ahead in terms of years and lay a foundation for innovations that other people will deliver, things we can't yet see.
Oh, very cool. You've touched on open banking. So
Yeah.
I would love to connect it to how does an open banking approach impact the experience of business owners and what opportunities does it unlock?
Sure, it's a big one,
Mhm.
and an open banking approach has significant impacts on the experience of business owners and can unlock lots of opportunities. Access to financial data, so it enables business owners to access their financial data from multiple banks and financial institutions through a single platform application, and then provides them with a comprehensive view of their financial health, including cash flow, expenses, revenue, without the need to log on to multiple accounts separately, which is, a big game changer. Streamline financial management. They can access consolidated financial data, track transactions, categorize expenses, analyze spending patterns more efficiently, and things like that. Access to innovative financial services. It encourages the development of innovative products and services by third-party providers, and business owners can benefit from a wider range of services that can be tailored to their needs, such as automated accounting, invoice financing, cash flow forecasting, etc. And it can be used for personal finances as well. There's some of the real benefits. Improved access to credit is another one. They've got enhanced security and control because they're always in control. There's lots of consents that are needed before the data is handed over, and they're in full control of that. They can give the consent and they can withdraw the consent when they don't want to share that data anymore. It enhances the overall financial experience of business owners, gives them greater transparency, efficiency, and flexibility, I guess, in managing their finances, which can only be a good thing, right?
Yeah, it almost feels like a buzzword at this
Yeah.
point, but to give a voice of all the practical uses for not only business owners, but everyday consumers, it's enlightening.
It is.
Yeah.
It's going to be big, and it's going to be great, as I say, to see it come to life more broadly this year.
So, kind of transitioning also to the future. So, we've discussed about the pivotal role Payments New Zealand plays in shaping the payments landscape in New Zealand. But how do you see these initiatives impacting small businesses in the future?
So, the ultimate outcome we want from all of our work, including open banking, is to make world-class payments available to everyone in New Zealand, and that includes consumers and large and small businesses. So, if we think about some of what we want to encourage, if you're growing a retail business, online or offline, some of the things banking solutions can enable is easier visibility over your finances, personal or business, giving your customers easier or more flexible ways to pay, or applying for loans or credit lines faster with information you already have in your business. So the more those solutions are available to consumers and businesses, the bigger a positive impact it has on the small business sector. Looking further out with things like our payments direction work, these big projects to upgrade and innovate across the sector and in our payment systems ultimately benefit small businesses and everyone in New Zealand. I guess because they keep the system running invisibly without a hitch, so you don't even have to think about it day to day. And what really shapes the business experience are the big steps forward, like 7-day-a-week payments between banks, which came in last year. And we want to move from here to having real-time payments within seconds, which are on our strategic roadmap as well. So,
Yeah, that's such a game changer, especially for small business owners when capital is so tight. Be able to
absolutely.
manage that in real time.
Yes.
Hence the name.
Yeah. Come up with all the good names.
Oh, well, you want it to
Real
be
time.
literal.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. At least people know what we're doing, right?
Exactly. No false advertising here.
Yeah.
So, how can business owners in Aotearoa actively participate in shaping the future of payments?
Yeah, that's a good question, Katie. I think there's a number of ways. I guess staying informed, keeping up to date with trends, regulations, and innovations. So subscribe to industry newsletters, attend conferences, join relevant online forums, and, really just get yourself connected. Engage with payment providers, build relationships with payment service providers and stay informed about their latest offerings. Provide feedback to them about your business needs and preferences regarding payments methods. Adopt new payment technologies. In New Zealand, we're known as early adopters, and it's really good. So where possible, embrace emerging technologies such as mobile payments, contactless, digital wallets, and cryptocurrencies even, which is the next big thing. And if you offer diverse payment options, you can cater to a broader range of customer preferences as well. So that's a good thing to do. Advocate for regulatory changes, participate in industry associations, Retail New Zealand, for example, or advocacy groups that work on shaping regulatory policies related to payments. Advocate for regulations that promote innovation and security. Citizens Advice Bureau is even doing projects on making sure that payments are inclusive for all. So that's something that people can connect with easily. So I'd encourage them to get on board with that. Invest in security measures, make sure that the security of payment transactions is there by implementing those robust security measures to help their customers. Try and collaborate with fintech startups. I mean, the list is endless. There's lots of ways that small businesses who probably think they don't have any impact, these are just some of the ways they can actually get on board and complete surveys. If there's surveys out there that you can complete to kind of get your views across, do that. So look for those sorts of things. Make sure you educate your staff on, they're well-trained in handling various payment methods, etc. That's only good for your customers as well. So there's lots of different ways. Participate in pilot programs, for example. Often, fintechs are looking for businesses to kind of participate in pilots. I think even Skyzer, I know, have done pilots with customers. Yes. And so it's a brilliant way to be an early adopter, get in there, have your say, maybe shape the future, right? So...
Oh, I love that, Angela, because it can always seem like a one-sided, this is what we provide, we take care of you. But really, it is this two-way dynamic where, as you said, even if you are a small business, you still have a voice, and we don't know unless having that conversation.
That's exactly right. And small businesses are just the lifeblood of the economy, really. And, we want them to have a say because, they're what keeps us all ticking. So just go for it. Get involved. Roll up your sleeves. Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I would also say just similarly, that's Skyzer's very similar position is that we want small business owners, even if they're not with Skyzer, we want them to have that conversation with their payments provider because it seems a common trend or an accepted behavior to just sign up and perhaps it's not the right fit for your business and you get frustrated, but there's other options out there.
Absolutely.
It's a very dynamic payments industry. It's not just the ones that bombard you with Facebook ads.
That's exactly right. And honestly, you don't want us to make it up as we go along. You want to have your say, get in there and, just have a voice.
Totally.
Really encourage them to do that.
Well, Angela, I think we're at the end. So thank you so much for sharing your experiences and the conversation, especially around giving Payments New Zealand a voice, because it's very impactful to have you here on the podcast.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
But tell the people what you or Payments New Zealand are up to. What can the listeners look forward to?
Well, just a few things coming up that small businesses in particular might be keen to hear about. We'll be talking open banking at Tech Week in the week of the 20th of May with an online session. So check out the Tech Week website for more details on that. The results of our latest Payments New Zealand consumer survey with lots of insights on how people access across Aotearoa are paying now in 2024 and how they want to pay in the future. So visit us at paymentsnz.co.nz to check it out. And the big one for us this year is our biennial conference for the payments industry, The Point, which is coming up in Auckland on the 19th and 20th of November. So save the date for that one now, and registrations will open in early June. So if you want to keep up with everything we're doing, it's all on our website at paymentsnz.co.nz. You can sign up on the website to our Top Reads newsletter, which covers payments news in New Zealand and internationally and comes out every week on a Friday just before lunch. So you can also follow Payments NZ on LinkedIn. And if you want to find out more about becoming a member and working with us, membership details are on the website too, or you can contact me directly on LinkedIn under Angela Gill.
Yes. Excellent, people. You heard that. Get involved. Subscribe. As we just said, you can only have a voice if you're involved.
Absolutely.
It's been wonderful hearing your experiences and for the conversation. I'm Katie Baldwin. This was an episode of Beyond the Transaction. Thanks again, everyone, for listening. See ya. Bye.